Good morning, wrestling fans. Today is Saturday, June 10th, 2023. Lance Brack here to talk some pro wrestling with you here on this Saturday episode of GMWF. Hope everyone is having a great morning so far on this Saturday. Hope everyone had a great night of watching pro wrestling last night. And in case you missed it, there was an episode of 360 Wrestling Fanatic talking about all the pro wrestling action that took place last night. Impact Wrestling Against All Odds, WWE Friday Night SmackDown, and AEW Rampage. Watched all three shows yesterday and talked about all three shows on the podcast. Now at this time, there was something I missed, because if you listen to the 360 Wrestling Fanatic, I am a bad note taker. Sometimes there's parts of the show I forget to put in my notes, and I forget to mention them on the show. And I want to talk about one thing that I missed from WWE SmackDown last night, and that was that we saw the WWE NXT Women's Champions Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, and then we see the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler come out and interrupt them. And they say that they want both women's tag team titles. And then Isla Dawn and Alba Fire say they challenged them to a unification match for both sets of the women's tag team titles. And they accept. So it is now official. We will see a title unification match for the WWE and the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships. Rowdy Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler taking on Isla Dawn and Alba Fire. Unless I missed it last night, they have not yet said when this match is taking place, but it wouldn't surprise me at all if it does take place at Money in the Bank in London, July 1st. Wouldn't be surprised to see that, and part of me kinda doesn't think they would have Rousey and Baszler lose, but also there's another part of me that doesn't really see them having Isla Dawn and Alba Fire lose in the UK either. So who knows? But like I said, that's not official just yet. I don't think that match is taking place at Money in the Bank, but if I had to take a guess, I'd probably say that's where they will be having the match in just a few weeks or so in London. And I mentioned at the top of the podcast this morning, last night, all the pro wrestling that was on, that I talked about on 360 Wrestling Fanatic, episode 421. That's available now on Spreaker or wherever you listen to podcasts. Against All Odds, very good show, very good night for Michigan. First, we had Chris Sabin defeating Trey Miguel for the X Division Championship in what was a very good match. And in the main event of Against All Odds, the other half of the Motor City Machine Guns, Alex Shelley, defeated Steve Maclin to become the new Impact Wrestling World Champion for the first time in his career. Again, like I said last night, I am definitely excited and happy to be seeing Alex Shelley as the Impact World Champion, but it did surprise me though. I talked about it yesterday morning right here on GMWF. I made a prediction for the main event when I talked about the card. I thought they were going to have Steve Maclin retain because I was surprised to see a short run of Impact World Champion from Steve Maclin. I thought they were going to be really behind him, and part of me was even thinking that they might give him a real long run with the title until maybe even Josh Alexander comes back. I know that's still going to be a while because he's going to be out for quite a long time with his injury, but I thought they might have him hold on to it all the way until then, and then have Josh Alexander come back and challenge him for that championship that he never actually lost and was never pinned for. But by the time Josh Alexander is ready to come back, though, the title could be put on Steve Maclin again by then. I am hoping, though, that this world title run for Alex Shelley isn't too quick and just have him. I know they're doing tapings tonight once again in Columbus for Impact Wrestling. I hope they just don't hot shot it real quick where he wins it and then loses it right back to Maclin again. I hope they at least let him have it for a month or two. But like I said, I was surprised to see Maclin lose it so quick. I thought they were going to really build him as a strong champion. And yes, he did have the successful defense against PCO a couple weeks ago at Under Siege in that brutal, violent match. But other than that, this was just his third title defense. And because with PCO, and then he actually defended against Rhino on an episode of Impact. But still, though, definitely thrilled to see Alex Shelley as the Impact World Champion, though. I just hope it lasts a while. And also, Friday night, SmackDown last night, have another cliffhanger with the way SmackDown ended. Jimmy Uso accidentally giving his brother Jay a super kick, and still not clear whether if Jay is going to side with his brother Jimmy or if he's going to side with Roman Solo and the wise man Paul Heyman in the Bloodline. But actually, Jay Uso did make a comment last night backstage where if he does stay with the Bloodline, Paul Heyman won't be in the Bloodline. And definitely interesting to see what happens. Roman Reigns will be on SmackDown next week. And I think they should definitely keep Jay and Jimmy together as the Usos. Definitely one of the top tag teams in pro wrestling for last year and this year too. And I think it would be a shame to split them up I don't really see that happening though, but hopefully WWE won't. And then had a pretty good episode of AEW Rampage. Sky Blue winning the 4-way match to become the #1 contender for the AEW Women's Championship, and she will face Toni Storm for that title this Wednesday night on Dynamite. And we are 1 week away from the premiere episode of AEW Saturday Collision on TNT, which will debut 1 week from tonight. So that is all for this Saturday morning episode of Good Morning Wrestling Fans. Thank you once again, everyone, for tuning in right here on Spreaker or whichever website or app you listen to on. Remember, if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, you can leave them in the comment section. And that's all for today's episode. I will hope to have more episodes of 360 Wrestling Fanatic coming real soon. And also tomorrow for the Sunday morning episode of GMWF. But until then, everyone have a great pro wrestling day.